thanks for coming to the office, man. It's good to have you guys here. We got an all-star squad here. WBO super middleweight champion, Billy Joe Saunders in the house.
Of the world.
Of the world.
Of the world. That's
Eddie
important.
Hearn, one of the greatest combat sports promoters on the planet, from LA to Saudi Arabia.
International.
To
everywhere.
Vegas. I know, it's amazing. Welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
KSI, the main event.
Your boy.
You're here in the house.
Don't know.
Appreciate it. And your trainer, Viddal Riley, who trains out of the Mayweather gym in Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. You've been working with KSI, getting him ready for this fight.
Yeah, since the beginning, I've been working with him. So this is it now.
So you were getting him ready for the first fight against Logan Paul.
Yep.
Which a lot of people, I mean, let's just cut the crap here. A lot of people, when they saw that fight at the beginning, before you guys stepped in the ring, when they heard about this fight, there were people who were saying, "Oh, this is a joke. This is a clown." You know, they were making fun of the fact that this was going to be a fight.
Yeah.
And then they get in the ring, and they fight for 6 rounds. And now you have world-class athletes from all around the world saying, "Wait a second, you got to take these guys seriously. That was a pretty good fight."
Right.
And on top of that, it had over 1 million pay-per-view buys, right?
Yeah.
And so now you take this thing that kind of people were scoffing at, and now you have the original fight, which is a hit by all standards. And now there's going to be a rematch on Saturday in Los Angeles, and Eddie Hearn and DAZN is behind this thing. I got to ask, number one, why did you get involved? What was the draw?
That was a very interesting point, because the first fight, some people spoke to me about and said, you know, do you want to get involved? And I just laughed.
Right.
I said, are you mad? I said, 2 YouTubers. You know, where is it? Manchester Arena. I said, are you joking? I said, that holds 20,000. I said, who's broadcasting it? It's on pay-per-view. Right. I was on the floor. I was saying, these guys, they're the clowns. I was doing interviews, which people are playing back now, saying, oh, this is a joke for boxing, et cetera, et cetera. Then I heard very quickly they'd sold out the arena. Then I've heard very quickly they did 1.3 million pay-per-view buyers. And then I watched the fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish I would have done that. But I'll tell you one thing, if they do the rematch, I'm doing that one.
So you got right in.
Yeah, and we've learned so much. I mean, this is a new world, you know. I mean, you saw Justin Bieber posting this morning to his 120 million followers. You know, the numbers that are being generated from DAZN in the US, and that's where you watch the fight on the DAZN platform, DAZN, Sky Sports in the UK, Fight TV around the world. The pre-buys we're seeing are huge, huge.
You've been part of some of the biggest events. I mean, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, you've promoted some of the biggest events that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where does the hype and all that rank compared to this?
It's beyond that, because it's a totally new audience. You know, in boxing events, you've got the boxing audience, and then you try and grow it to the casuals outside of that. Anthony Joshua is a great example of someone that has done that. But these guys are the other way around. They've got the casual market, and we're just trying to tap into the boxing market, which is very small in comparison. So the hype is unbelievable. I mean, the way these two are promoting the fight, it's not even that they're trying to push the fight, it's just what they do.
Right.
You know, they push their own brand, they push their content. They're perfect to work with for promoters, because you almost don't have to do anything. I mean, I turned up at the first press conference, I was like, guys, just to let you know, this is how we're getting, they're like, yeah, whatever, we'll just roll with it. I'm like, oh, right, okay, you know. And they know what they're doing. They do this day in, day out, and they have this captive audience. You know, we see the press conferences doing 700,000, 800,000 live. You know, we see the preview shows that DAZN did, 40 days, go out on both their guys' channels. It's had 10 million views. Yeah. You couldn't hit those numbers on Fox. You know, you couldn't hit those numbers on BBC in the UK.
So what kind of early projections are you seeing for pay-per-views for this particular fight?
Much bigger globally than the first
Are we talking 2 million, 3 million?
I would believe so, globally,
Bigger than 2, 3 million?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
I believe bigger than 2 million, because you know, this time you have, I just said to KSI off camera, I said, how do you feel like the hype that this one versus the first one? The first one, they're revolutionaries. They did that on their own.
Yeah.
The first
So
one,
let's
I just
ask him,
jumped.
how do you feel about the hype for the second fight?
Yeah, I think it's there. I mean, like online, it's always been there. Like, there's always been this bubbling thing when it comes online. But I think mainstream-wise, it's like shot up tremendously, because last fight we didn't really have any real mainstream exposure.
Except for us.
Well, a few people here and there. But now it's just everyone wants a piece. Everyone sees.
So do you feel pressure, because the first time, like you were saying, it was this thing that kind of grew, and I don't know what the expectation was from the outside world about the boxing skill inside the ring, but after the show you guys put on the first time, do you feel more pressure this time around to like show improvement with your boxing skill, to put on an even better show, to stand toe-to-toe and bang it out, like to get a knockout this time?
Well, no, not really, because like with the way we've trained so hard like to the point where I know I've improved tremendously, and I know I'm just a different fighter than I was last year. So when I get in that ring, like everyone's just going to be surprised at what they see. They're going to actually see form. They're going to see like proper boxing form, and they're going to see me as if like I've been doing it for years on end, like, you know, for 5+ years. Like, I'm just gonna look so comfortable, and it's just gonna be easy.
This is a professional fight now, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you are a professional fighter.
Yes.
Is this a one-time thing with Logan, or are you going to fight now?
Well, I mean, hopefully I can, you know, when I do destroy Logan, I want to be able to, you know, fight other people, other pro fighters, because I feel I definitely can beat other pro fighters. And yeah, just going from there, beef up my record while doing music and YouTube as well. Like, I'm pretty sure I can juggle all three. So
I don't know what weight Justin Bieber can get up to, but I think that's a natural fight. Isn't it?
Yeah, right?
And we've seen Justin Bieber
yeah,
train,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
True. He trained with your boy Floyd Mayweather.
I want to know, you know, I think...
Would you promote that, Eddie?
Promote it?
Yeah.
You know how big that is?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, this is
Well,
big.
wait, because Justin Bieber, we know that he was joking back and forth with Tom Cruise about an MMA fight.
Yeah.
And we know that there were conversations that went to the levels of, you know, the top guys in the UFC, Dana White, and they were talking about maybe trying to make it happen. Justin's been dabbling in this arena for a long time.
Yeah.
People are going to say, oh, you guys are trying to turn something out of nothing, but hey, Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. KSI fought Logan Paul. Any chance that you think realistically you got a shot at getting Justin Bieber into a boxing
It's only
ring?
about money. You know, it's only about money and actually ambition of actually achieving something different. People love boxing. I was just saying to Billy, like, you know, people love the sport. Once they get involved, you're probably addicted to it now. You know, you're addicted to the training.
yeah, of course. Like, you become immersed in it. You know, want to understand everything about the sport. Like, before I used to look at boxing and just go, oh, okay, they're just whoever's the fastest puncher or whoever can, you know, hit the hardest can win. But there's just so many layers when it comes to boxing, when it comes to like footwork, why you'd want to move to the right, or why you'd want to slip a punch, or why you'd want to feint, or why you'd want to do all these things. And it's exciting, like seeing all these different boxes and seeing all these different styles. And just, I don't know, it's just fascinating.
For me, the most fascinating thing about this fight is being out of the comfort zone. And although he says he feels like a boxer now, the greatest thing I think of this fight is you've got two guys going in front of 14, 15,000 at the Staples Center with a huge global audience to have a fight.
Right.
It's not what they do. Billy lives in the ring.
Right.
If you ask him, his most comfortable place in the world is being between those in that ring, between the ropes. You know.
How long did you have training last time for that fight?
Training about a year.
Yeah.
See, now, but I suppose because obviously was that fight, it wasn't announced a year before.
No.
So when you
No.
start taking it seriously when it was announced, how long then, like before your fight in
12
camp?
weeks.
Yeah.
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
See, now
not
you've
that
had,
long.
so you've gone from 12 weeks to roll over to now.
Right.
A fight, you know, especially coming from someone like him and his opponent who's fighting, fights are won in the gym. Like, you don't just turn up 6, 7, 8 weeks and fight. You've got to prepare for, like, you know, a year, 2 years to get where he's at. But these boys obviously skipped the queue and where they're at now, so they're probably had to put more training in than us, more time in technical sort of work than
So
us.
you've been fighting your whole life. You come from a long line of fighters. I read your great-grandfather was a bare-knuckle boxing
years ago,
legend.
yeah.
When you see KSI, you see him train, are you impressed? What do you think?
Listen, you have to. I said this many times. You have to take it after these boys because they've put themselves here. You know, Eddie and us come along and the zone, and everyone's come along to push them, but they've put themselves there. So, you know, they're obviously doing something right, and you know, they deserve their shot. They deserve this night because, you know, they've got a lot of followers.
Yeah.
You know, the fans are buying into it, so they want the fans want to see this.
Right.
The fans want to see this, and their fans are bigger than the general boxing fans at the moment.
So on that note, you know, Eddie was mentioning earlier, he said the real champ, right? You are a decorated champion. You've been fighting for a very long time.
Yeah.
You've been beating up real, you know, accomplished fighters. To be on the undercard,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a weird feeling for you, but at the same time, the exposure you're going to get from this fight, how does that make you feel?
I'm just here to try to steal a few of the fans. You know what I mean?
Ruler.
But listen, what I can say is that I don't look at it like that. I believe that, you know, in life, if you put yourself somewhere, you're entitled to that moment. And, you know, these lads have put themselves in America. To make it in America and to make this sort of, this attraction, Justin Bieber, you know, tweeting and all our other
So
stars
there's not a little
coming.
bit of jealousy that you're not the main
No,
event?
listen, I'll say good luck to anybody.
Right.
You know, I'm happy, I'm over the moon to be. You know, my MATCHROOM debut, I'm fighting in America.
Yeah.
I'm on my own quest. I want to, show E's fans and Logan's fans that who's this guy, Billy Joe Saunders. I need them to see me. So hopefully, when these finish, they can follow me somewhere else back in America.
I think that's cool because I didn't know. People can be protective of the sport. I didn't know if you, an established boxer, been doing this forever, would not like.
Sometimes.
That's very cool though.
The weirdest thing is in England, you've got unlicensed boxing.
Right.
And sometimes you go to that show and you think, it's going to be a load of rubbish tonight. But then, them shows there, you probably see the best fight you've ever seen, proper punch-ups. And sometimes, it's worse fighting an opponent what don't 100% know what he's doing. Because if he don't know what he's doing, how do you really know what he's doing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't. But like I say, with these lads here, they've obviously now they've upped the ante. They've got professionals in.
Right.
The food, the preparation, everything now is different to your average unlicensed fighter. So.
Right.
I think it'll be a good fight.
I feel like it's easy. It's easier to promote fights when there's bad blood between the guys. Do you all really hate each other? Is the blood that bad? Do you really want to hurt him? Like, you want to hurt him on Saturday night?
I feel like he's the barrier in me reaching the next level in my career, and I feel like I need to just get rid of him to be able to propel my career. Yeah, as simple as that.
So there's gonna be no hugging after the fight?
No. I'll probably call him a bitch after. Yeah.
Can you knock him out? I mean, he's got a tough chin. I mean,
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. No, he got saved by the head guards.
Yeah.
The head guards, took in a lot of the damage that I gave him. So, yeah, once I hit him with 10-ounce gloves, with no head guards, he's finished.
So I know it was a majority draw last time, but you won on one of the judges' scorecards.
Well, I felt like I won the fight, but obviously, it is what it is.
Who was the judges?
Yeah, he's. I have no idea.
Stevie Wonder.
Last time, who got the judges in like last time?
It was the EBOs, is some other unlicensed body, if you like, that put the judges.
But now
in.
we're getting experts.
Yeah, but that's what
We're getting judges.
when we came in, I said, look, credibility-wise, we're going to get, because Billy made a good point. There's a lot of people out there, fighters, who'll say, this is a joke. These two, they've just walked into boxing.
Right.
Now they're headlining Staples Centre, making a load of money. But it's like, they've built themselves to that position.
Yeah. Right.
These guys can do anything.
Right.
And put it on a huge stage.
Yeah.
So don't, you didn't make it in boxing, and you never built a profile. So don't moan because they've got the opportunity to do this.
Right.
They've earned this. And by the way, they're doing the toughest thing they can. They're not having a game of FIFA or they're playing one-on-one football in five-a-side.
Right.
They're having a fight.
Yeah.
Right.
And this time they're doing it without the head guards.
Right.
Licensed by the California Commission.
Right.
10-ounce gloves. This is a different kind of fight this time. And I've said in the build-up all along, they can't afford to take shots this time like they did last time.
Right.
With the head guards and with the bigger gloves.
Right.
And Logan came out like a train last time.
Right.
And then gassed completely.
Right. Yeah.
Like, after 2 rounds, wasn't he? He was like hanging on.
He was done, yeah.
So you've been training with him in the gym.
Yeah.
Knockout power, like real deal knockout power?
That's the first thing I noticed, really. When he was a raw novice, I said to him, hit the pad. The first thing I noticed was his power.
Yeah.
But, having power is one thing. It's about the most important thing is defending against someone who's trying to hit you back. So that's what this camp's been focused on. A lot of people have been saying like the gloves being smaller is more of a threat. Of course it is, but it's my job to make sure he's defending himself properly and countering. And he's been doing a great job of that. So it's just
Does he
exciting.
have the natural ability? Like if I went into your gym, you could train me. We could train all day. And,
Well, I can train anyone. Come, I'm a good trainer.
He's a trainer, not a magician.
And that's my point. You could train me all day, and I'm not going to be a boxer. Did JJ
Well,
have
that's
like
the thing.
a
It's
natural?
about he had like I said, he had natural power. He got good reflexes as well. But that's not gonna help you ultimately.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone needs to go through the lessons and stages. You can't skip past certain lessons. Otherwise, you'll get found out eventually. So it's about ticking all the boxes. Whether you're super talented or you're trash, you have to do certain lessons. We've done them, and November 9th, you see, it's Saturday.
So at a point before you fought Logan, you fought the other dude. You just decided you were going to challenge yourself and try to train up for a fight, and that was it.
Well, yeah, like I feel like genetics-wise, that's probably why I was able to train as well as I did, and do as many runs as I have done. Just because, like, it's always been there, but I never really tapped into it.
Right.
I've always just had it. I've always just done my thing.
Do you think to yourself, like, if you would have, like, how old were you when you started boxing?
5.
Okay. Wow. If you would have started when you were 5.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like, how does that go for you?
that would have made life a lot easier.
You started boxing when you were 5 years old? How do you find an opponent when you're 5? Just go to the playground?
No, we was chucked in the gym at 5. Like, I went to the gym, my brother and that, and I carried on from there.
Right.
And then I just...
Do you remember your first fight?
I remember my first amateur fight, or 11, because in the UK you got to get carded at 11.
Do you remember the emotions? Were you scared? Were you
No,
excited?
I've never. As an amateur, I was just chucked in and win, lose or draw. I just had to go in there and I'll always go in and give everything.
Are you excited before you go? I'm curious, both you guys, before you go in there, man, I would think it would be terrifying before you go in there and fight, man. Potential for embarrassment, you know all that can happen. Everybody's watching you.
If you've done the work leading up to it and you've got no demons in your head and you think, right, I've done everything, weight's been good, training's gone well, you know, everything's perfect. Or if you're going in the dressing room and you think, oh, I've been feeling shit, I've been shit on the dart, I've been doing this, then you think, well, I need a game, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z.
Right.
But if you're fit, you're on it, you know, you've done everything right, then I'm smooth to
Have
go.
you ever gone into a fight feeling shitty? Maybe you went and drank the night before or something like that, and you go in and you're like, I don't know how this is gonna go, and then you had a performance that surprised you?
Not really, no, but I've always, every time I do a ring walk, I think, what the fuck am I doing here?
Really?
Every time. Really? And that goes through my head every time, what am I even doing here? I don't even know. But then, as soon as I get in the ring, I love it. It's like, well, here we go, we're here.
Right.
But just as you're ring walking, you think, oh, I think it every time, what am I doing? Why am I even doing
Why
it?
am I doing this?
Is it the weight though? Like there must be as fighters obviously making weight. If you've cheated on the weight a little bit, you know, and you've made weight not as well as you should have done, that worry about the fight going
The
the distance.
worstest I've ever been was I boxed Andy Lee for my first world title, middleweight.
Sure.
And he's from the Irish travelling community. I'm from the English travelling community in England. And I had people sending me these bets they've had with people for like 50 grand, 25 grand. There's about 3 million quid on it all around.
Right.
And then I was thinking, the pressure got to me in the hotel room. I sat down before I went. I thought, I've never had this before. This pressure get to me. Wow. And I was under so much pressure. If they would have said to me, right, you're gonna win this fight, but you know afterwards you're gonna have to leave the earth. You're gonna have to go to heaven. Right. I hope heaven anyway. I'd have went, deal, let's go.
Right.
Let's do it. As long as I win, let's do it.
You wanted to win that
It was
badly.
that much pressure, yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's very important to have that in you know, in them sort of fights, in any fight.
So,
you know, you got it's all on.
So on that, so talking about pressure, like this is a pretty big fight, right? You're talking about 2 million pay-per-view projected, a massive audience and not usual boxing fans, a chance to really showcase your ability. I know you've been chasing guys like Canelo. Like this is an opportunity where if you have a great fight, you know, a highlight knockout, the opportunity is going to be that much closer. How do you feel about?
I think at this level of boxing, at the top level, it's more. It seems to me the better you look sometimes, the more harder it is, for my case anyway. So I'm going to do a ring walk in a wheelchair and banjo my legs up and hopefully...
What did you think of Canelo, man? He knocked Kovalev out
Yeah, listen,
hard.
Canelo's a good fighter. You know, I rate Canelo. He's a real good fighter. He's done brilliant things for boxing. I just think that I got the key to his locker. So,
Yeah.
But he's a great
I'm not going to
fighter.
lie, I watched him knock out Kovalev, man. That was scary stuff. I thought he was going to kill him in the ring.
He's good.
He opened up in that 11th round.
I heard Kovalev was drunk though before he got in
You
the
think
ring.
so?
Yeah.
Maybe, man. So you see that, you see a guy like Canelo who's a killer. I mean, that guy's a killer. The way your brain thinks is, I can't wait to get in the ring with that guy.
It's just showcasing that, you know I can beat him, so I want to show to someone, all right, he's good, yeah, but watch me.
Yeah.
He is good, but watch me. You know, he's probably had more, let's talk honest about it, more clinical performances than me, where we're going, you know, but he's had the opportunity to pick certain styles and pick certain opponents, where I haven't. I just beat who's put in front of me.
Yeah.
So put him in front of me, and listen, if he beats me, I'll shake his hand and say you're the better man, but I know I'll beat him.
So we talk about your career goals when you get through Logan Paul. Who's like your dream fight?
What, as in my next fight?
Just if you know down, it doesn't need to be your next fight, but somebody that you would like to ultimately fight down the road.
Nah, there isn't really any, because like if I was to fight, I wouldn't fight at cruiserweight. Because there's a lot of like dangerous cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll probably fight at light heavyweight.
Right.
Justin Bieber, there you go.
Yeah, since
Justin
Eddie
Bieber.
said Justin Bieber,
There we
now I
go.
want that Bieber.
How big is he, Justin Bieber? He's only small,
He's
right?
5'9",
So we can beef him up a little bit.
Yeah.
175
He could
pounds,
get
no
to what's
problem.
he could get there.
Do you ever think about trying MMA or something like that?
No.
No. Why not?
No
You're
chance.
athletic.
No chance.
Nah. Logan wants to call out Dana White after the fight.
Well, I imagine that after I beat Logan, he's gonna be like, all right, screw it. Let me fight in MMA. Let me fight the UFC, and let me fight what's his name? No.
CM
Well,
Punk?
either Dylan Dennis or CM Punk.
Dylan Dennis, yeah.
Yeah, one of those two. I imagine it'll be CM Punk.
Sure.
Because like Logan versus CM Punk, you're gonna want to watch it. It's one of those things where it's just like, I'm intrigued to see what happens.
Sure. So for people watching this right now that are intrigued by this fight, what's one thing that you want them to know about you that maybe they don't know?
Well, I guess everything. I have a lot of people that tell me that I can't do something, and then I always manage to do it. So a lot of people think I'm going to lose this fight, and they're going to be surprised when I raise my hand and smiling at everyone, especially Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Is he coming out to the fight?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He's coming.
Yeah.
Do you care about that? You ever pay attention to who's
Oh
in
no,
the...
I never pay attention.
Really?
I always stay focused in the main man.
Have
who's Logan,
celebrities
so.
hit you guys up for free tickets yet?
Yeah, quite a few.
Who's coming? Give us some of the guest list.
Doesn't matter how much money they got.
I
They
know,
never
right?
want
They don't
to
wanna
pay.
pay.
Yeah.
Rich people always
But
want
this
free
is,
stuff.
This is like in that regard, this is something that's really hitting those people, you know, and they're intrigued.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like that they can relate to this. Boxing fans struggle to relate to this, but the casual fans, you know, they can relate to it. 'Cause like, I know this guy and he's fighting.
Yeah.
You know, what is this all about? It's crazy.
It
you
takes
know,
so
and-
much courage,
yeah, it
in
does,
my
it
opinion,
does,
man,
It does.
to step in
you know,
there.
taking the whether you like it or you don't like it away, they've still got to go in there and fight.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. You know, for these guys, the last thing you want is a knockout meme.
Right.
Especially if it's you.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Floating
Hell
around the
yeah.
internet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Andrew Ruiz, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
When Ruiz, beat him up in the first time,
Yeah.
they were making all those memes. The one where his soul left his
I know,
body,
I
got
know,
back in the
But
fight.
and that's for a boxing audience.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
These guys do that kind of stuff every day.
Right. Yeah.
This
It
is
would
going to
be
be on
worse.
another level.
Yeah.
So
Right.
these guys, although they're not fighting for their careers, you know, in
Well,
some
we
respects,
pretty much
yeah.
are.
Yeah, okay, that's even better. I like that one. Yeah. These guys are fighting for their careers.
Careers on the
Here we
line.
are.
Perfect. Like, the losers not going to be in as good a place as they are right now.
Yeah,
that's for
exactly.
sure.
Can we talk about money? Is that? Can I ask
Well, you can
questions
talk
about
about it.
that?
Depends what the question is.
How much money are we looking to make from this fight? Like, are we talking seven figures? Are we talking $5, $10, $20 million?
Yeah, seven figures. We're sailing through that, but we're not going to go into the details. But,
Why not, man? People want to know.
No. I'll tell you a lot of money.
No, I was kidding.
You know,
A lot of
but
money.
ultimately, everything's in relation to the commercial worth
Sure.
in boxing.
Right.
If you're putting bums on seats, if you're driving pay-per-views, if you're driving subscriptions,
Right.
you make a lot of money.
Yeah. Right.
If you don't, you're not.
So that's the other fight you're promoting. You got Ruiz, Joshua too.
Huge,
And those guys
December
are making
7th.
what, 20, 30, 40 million dollars for that
Yeah,
fight?
but that's, talk about the World Heavyweight Championship.
Of course, right.
You know, so you got Saudi Arabia, it's one of the biggest and richest fights in the history of the sport.
Right.
You know, the huge rematch, unified World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
So when you talk about a guy like Billy Joe, right?
He's giving me a tenner for this fight.
Yeah, right.
That's all he's doing.
You're talking about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez signed a multi-fight deal for $365 million. That's something that's realistic for you, right? You somehow get a fight with Canelo and you beat him. You could be talking about a $300 million contract down the line. You could be talking about a $300 million contract down the line.
That's why everybody wants to fight Canelo.
Sure.
Right.
Because one, they're going to get a fortune for fighting him.
Right.
But if they, like Billy says, if they can unlock the code and beat him, then they've broke down the door to the tens of millions of dollars that's out there. But
What do you do if you sign a $365 million contract?
With me, this is not really about the money comes with it. But for me, I'd rather just win. Let me win and keep the money.
Yeah.
Let me win and you can
So
keep
the
that
money's
money.
not your driving.
No, the money's not the money's not, I've done all right for my career,
Yeah.
but like I say, you let me win and keep the money. That's how much I want to beat him.
Really?
So, but look, it's nice, it comes with it.
Yeah.
But, if this man's going to give me 300 million, then I can guarantee him a win.
Phil, I'm just glad you've got it on record that it's not about the money.
Right,
So,
yeah.
when you're fighting Canelo and you're
It's only a white
when we're sitting down negotiating that new contract, well, you did say it wasn't
Yeah.
about the money, Bill.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good point. Guys, I think we're out of time, but I appreciate you guys coming in. This is awesome.
it.
It's great
Pleasure,
talking to you
pleasure.
guys.
Thank you.
for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
That was awesome.
Thank
God
you.
bless
That
you.
was great. Thank you.